What's good, y'all? It's your boy BioSpider 3.0, keeping the action going with the Power Rangers Lightning Collection In Space Pink Ranger. So, what's happening, y'all? We got another In Space Ranger for the collection. Time to add her in, all right? See how she scales up with our boy Carlos. And yeah, we're completing the team one by one. So, today we've got a look at Cassie here in Space Pink. And yeah, she looks great from inside the package. I got her off of Mercari. Shout outs to Supergirl on Mercari for hooking me up with this dope figure, man. Yeah, very cool seller. We chatted back and forth, and got this got Cassie here at a good price. So yeah, man, very happy to finally have grabbed her and add her to the Ranger collection. And like I said, I'm trying to build all my Ranger teams. So with In Space, we already had a look at Carlos, and now we've got Cassie here. And yeah, look forward to building it. Getting each character one by one until we've got the full team. So yeah, here's a look at the front of the box, looking good. Our standard Lightning Collection packaging. Got a nice artwork, of her on the side there. Ages 4 and up, warning, choking hazard, all that stuff at the top. Hasbro, of course. And yeah, side of the box, we got that same artwork that was on the front. On the back, we've got her posed up a little bit. She's got her I always forget the name of their specific blaster. I'm just gonna call it the In Space Blaster for right now until I figure out the real name of it. And then she has her signature weapon, which is the Satellite Stunner. So I know I'm getting the name of that one right. So she has that, and then again the artwork is continued on the other side, and yeah, at the bottom legalese, all that stuff, barcode, and a pink, flat pink top. So there we go. Let's go ahead and crack it open. All right. So hope everyone is doing good. We're getting back into the swing of things, dropping some reviews, as well as some more content. Forgive me, guys, if I haven't been dropping like content outside of reviews lately, or just in general. It's just I got a lot going on. I'm working on some music right now, which that takes up a good amount of my time, my free time. So if I'm not dropping reviews, I'm usually working on music or something like that. Trying to get all this stuff together. I am continuing to drop my sophomore album that I mentioned in the video that I dropped on the channel, at least like a couple months ago now, probably more, about my music and stuff. So yeah, I actually just dropped another track off the album yesterday on SoundCloud, and I'll try to make more videos about the album when I have time for the channel as well, so I can put you guys onto that. But yeah, I dropped probably I think it was I want to say it's like the fifth or sixth track off my album yesterday, and so I'm gonna be dropping the cover art on Instagram and stuff, and then I'll show all that stuff off on here as well. But yeah, just been trying to stay real busy, so forgive me, guys, if I don't drop content that's non-review, non-action figure related for a little bit. That's just like the easiest thing for me to do right now for the channel. But rest assured, we will be having a look at a lot of other dope stuff on the channel, right? So stick around, and if you're new, please subscribe. You will not regret it. All right, so here is Cassie out of the packaging, and she looks really great. I'm glad that she stood up right away without any balancing issues. So there she is. Let's go ahead and take out her accessories. So we've got the Satellite Stunner. We've got an effects piece for the stunner. And then we have her blaster. We've got her alternate civilian head sculpt, which we'll definitely get into in a little bit. And then we have some alternate hands for her to switch out. Alright, so moving all of that aside, here is Cassie. Alright, so let's go ahead and get her on the rotating display base so we can get our 360 look right off top. See what she's looking like. All right, so here she is. And I'm gonna get her rotating here. So here we go. All right, and there is your 360 look at In Space Pink, Miss Cassie Chan, is it, or Chin? One of those. I think it might be Chin. Cassie Chin, but yeah. I liked In Space, man. In Space was a dope season. I definitely rock with it. I love the characters of In Space. I love Cassie, TJ, Carlos, Andros, and Ashley. I thought they were a really solid team. I do like the In Space suits a lot. They really, they have like I feel like when I was older, I didn't really care for the look like too much. Like it never was like stood out as like one of my favorites. But I did always like the look of, I thought the look of Andros as the Red Ranger was like cool enough. I thought it was a cool enough looking suit. And so, but yeah, just it's a pretty simple design, but I like it. I like how all of their helmets have like the same type of look, and then obviously the colored squares kind of going across the chest, very standard. But I like it. It gives them a nice, simple aesthetic. But yeah, so there's our 360 look. So we'll go ahead and stop her here. All right, taking her off. Move this to the side. Matter of fact, I'm going to put her to the side as well. And real quick, we'll take a closer look at her accessories. So first up, we have the Satellite Stunner, which looks very, very nice, very nicely detailed. All right, you got some nice kind of gray plastic, and then some, looks like it was definitely painted. The pink on this was definitely painted on top of that molded gray plastic. You can definitely, because you can see a lot of the gray actually peeking through on this one. So that'll probably like vary from copy to copy. You guys might have, yours might look better than mine as far as like the paint job. Because yeah, you can actually see a lot of the gray peeking through the pink here in the front, but at least they did paint it, so that's nice. And then in the back, we have some more pink for the stunner. We've got a little bit of detail kind of etched into there. Bring that in closer so you can see that. It's kind of like something engraved in there on the side. Not exactly. Okay, there we go. Yeah, just like some little like, shapes and whatnot. And then we've got some nice detailing in the, this part, this kind of coil part right there in the back that goes up. And then we have the black handle that she holds. So very, very nice. Definitely looks like a satellite. So cool. Very, very cool weapon of hers that she uses quite frequently in the show. And then next up, of course, we have the blaster. I always forget what these blasters are called specifically. I'm just going to call it the In Space blaster for right now, but she comes with that. And I think all of the Rangers, I believe all the Rangers have these. So she has that. Looks very, very nice. Kind of similar to the, Dino Thunder blasters. The Thunder Max blasters from Dino Thunder. So yeah, nice paint application. I think this is, looks to be molded in like the blue plastic, I think. It could be painted the blue parts. I'm not sure. I think it might be molded though. And then we have like some kind of gray, silverish plastic on top. And in the front there for the, like the port that fires, and then we have a little bit of gold there, nice gold symbol, and a little red as well, a little red stripe there. That looks pretty good, pretty nicely painted on there as well. So yeah, looks the same on both sides. So yeah, you get that. We get her blast effect, which is going to port into the Satellite Stunner. And looks very, very nice. I like the color of it. It's kind of like magenta color. Very, very nicely done. And it's basically just like a big funnel, like a big cone that you would plug in. And yeah, I think it looks pretty nice. Nicely detailed. All these like little kind of rivets and like little points that kind of stick off to make it look like a blast. I think that looks pretty cool in the shape of the satellite. So that's cool. We get that. We get some alternate hands. She gets a fist hand right here, pretty small fist, but she's a female. She's a little bit smaller in frame, so we definitely wouldn't want her to have like a oversized fist. So this looks appropriate. Nicely detailed. We've got the lines going on top of the glove there, and yeah, the sculpt of the fingers and everything looks pretty nice and tight. Nice white paint application. So yeah, we got her fist, so she can punch bad guys, and then we have her kind of like a 4-finger hand, or like Like she's like curling curling her thumb in, and then yeah, we got like the rest of her fingers kind of sticking up together in a straight line. So that's pretty kind of like a karate chop hand maybe. So that's pretty cool, or like a blocking hand. So that's pretty cool. Again, very nicely detailed. Nice white paint applications, and we have, you know, again the white lines, or like, yeah, the lines on top of the glove. So that looks pretty cool. Hiya! All right, and we have, last but not least, the Cassie head, which honestly isn't too bad. I mean, I can't say it necessarily looks like her from the show. The likeness is, it's iffy. It's about the same as like most of the Lightning Collection figures. Um, you know, a lot of them aren't too spot on. I think for this head sculpt, I think they made her jawline a little too pronounced. Because I think Cassie has like a little bit more. She has like more cheeks from what I remember. She has like a little bit. Not like a puffy face, but she definitely has like more cheeks to her, and not so much of a like a harsh bone structure, like with the double chin. I don't did she have a double chin? I don't really remember her having a double chin, but they definitely sculpted one in. So I'll have to go back and like look at the actress again, but I don't really remember her having a double chin like that. I do like that they did get like the little mole though on the under her eye. That's not like a paint mishap or like a, you know, accident. That's actually, she does have that. I remember she does have like a little mole by her eye there. So I don't know if it like which eye it was under. So hopefully they got it on the right side. I can't remember off top. But yeah, I mean overall this isn't a bad head sculpt. I think it has like a decent enough likeness. You can definitely, I think like once you pour this onto the body, you would be able to tell definitely who that's supposed to be. But yeah, I like that they gave like the lips color. She got like some red on her lips, and then kind of like the blush in her cheeks and whatnot, kind of like a rosy look. That looks pretty nice. And then you have, you know, the dark hair, which is very nicely done. So it's in like a really dark brown, so that's nice. And then she has even like the ponytail kind of braided down center, so that looks really nice. That's pretty nicely detailed actually. The hair looks really good. And yeah, so you know, not a horrible head sculpt by any means. Actually pretty nice, even if it's not completely you know, accurate as far as like likeness goes, but you know, still very good looking head sculpt. So there you go. And that's all her accessories. So let's start breaking her down for the clean figurine scale. So let's look at we'll look at the overall aesthetic first. So let's pull her back into frame. I think she looks pretty good. I'm definitely seeing a little bit of difference in color. So like for her chest area, she definitely has like a little bit darker of a shade of like the pink throughout her costume. This down here is more closer to like a hot pink, whereas like her torso is more of like a magenta. There's a lot more like purple in the pink on her torso. It doesn't look bad, but it's definitely noticeable. So yeah, that's just something to note. I'll put it like this. Basically, the color that they used for like pretty much her entire torso, I think that would have looked better if they would have just done like a little bit of airbrushing with that, like, you know, that darker tone of color, and just kind of like added like some shading to her suit. I think that would have like made it look like a lot better. I think if they did that with like all of the Rangers, honestly, their suits would look a little bit better and like more realistic. They would have like more of a premium look, kind of similar to like the Sentai. But that being said, you know, her costume is still really nicely done. I like the colors of it. I like the color of pink that they chose overall. The white looks pretty good, and you know, I like the sculpt, the wrinkles sculpted in her boots, and she's got like a little bit of like wrinkling and things like in her arms up here by the shoulders. So yeah, I got some wrinkles sculpted in, probably digitally sculpted, so that's pretty nice. Here's a look at her from the back. And yeah, again, that darker color from the front continues like into the back. So like her whole, you know, back and torso piece is kind of like in a darker pink. So that's just something to note. But yeah, overall, she does look pretty good, pretty consistent, other than that color difference. And yeah, the squares on her chest are painted pretty cleanly as well. Nice and uniform, so that looks good. I like the look of the helmet. So yeah, overall she's looking pretty solid, I would say, for aesthetic. For the back here in the belt, it looks like they got a little bit sloppy. I see like a little bit of pink kind of bleeding onto the belt here, or like maybe like the sculpt of the belt, because there's definitely like some lines sculpted up top and bottom for the belt. That's like a detail that they added in, but it seems like there's a little bit of pink kind of bleeding into the top of it here, kind of going around. In the front, it gets a lot cleaner. You can still kind of see it if you lean her over and kind of look into like this top part of the belt, but I mean, who's gonna be doing that, right? So no biggie there. But yeah, I'd say overall she looks pretty solid. So for aesthetic rating, I'm gonna give her a, let's see, out of 10, I'll give her like a solid 8.5. I think that's fair. I think she looks pretty good. Again, just those like color differences and a little bit of those, paint sloppiness here and there. I think she's gonna get an 8.5 for her aesthetic. All right, let's move on to, let's see. Let's move on to accuracy. Let's get accuracy out the way. So for accuracy, and pull up a picture of In Space Pink so we can compare. All right, so here we go. So here, pulling in an image over here of how she looked in the show. Try to get like a nice full body pic. I think this one has some pretty nice color to it, so I think I'll go ahead and go with this. Even though the color here is a little bit darker, I think this is probably more, this image that I'm about to show you guys is probably more based on the Sentai, which they did tend to have like darker colored suits compared to Power Rangers. But matter of fact, let's see. I opened that up wrong, my bad. Let me see if I can blow this up better. Come on, freaking, okay, there you go. Alright, let's see. Okay, there we go. So move her aside real quick. And here's how she looked in the show, to give you an idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in here. Alright, so that's In Space Pink's outfit. And yeah, I'd say the figure looks pretty accurate so far. Like, yeah, they got the they even got like the pouch on the right side, which is nice. They got her holster for her blaster on the right side. In this image, the gold for her belt looks a little darker, like more bronze compared to like the figure. But I mean, I think that's really just has to do with like the lighting. And again, this is probably based off the Sentai, the image that is. So, can't really like dock them points for that. But yeah, I'd say like the overall color is still pretty accurate. The white looks pretty good. She's got like the stripes by her shoulders up here, you can see on the image, which is present on the figure. She's got those white kind of like strips that go across by the shoulders there, so that looks pretty good. They probably could have made the white a little bit closer, I think, like up top, like closer to like where her clavicle is on the figure, just because like that's how it looks on the image here. Like it's more uniform. It goes like, it basically feeds from like the top of her shoulder into the clavicle on the suit, whereas like on the figure it seems like it's kind of down a little bit lower. But I think that's just, they kind of consider this as like one piece, right? Because they're chopping it up for the articulation. So yeah, that's just like a minor nitpick, but I mean overall it looks pretty good. I think the helmet looks pretty accurate as well. The helmet design definitely looks pretty accurate to me. Yeah, it's like pretty accurate to the image here, streamlined towards the bottom, like towards the chin, and kind of bowl shaped at the top for her head. All the black and stuff seems to be in the right place, so that looks pretty good. Just something to note, she does have a little bit of sloppiness with like the white here at the bottom of the visor. I feel like all of the, maybe not all, but at least Carlos, I think, suffered from the same problem for like these In Space Rangers. They kind of have like a misalignment with the white at the bottom of the visor, so that's just something to note. Like you can see like one side sticks up a little bit higher there, but again, not a big deal. Overall, yeah, I think the accuracy looks pretty good for her suit. And like as far as the back is concerned, let's see. There was an image that had like, yeah, this one. See if I can open this one up in a new one. Okay, here we go. So let's zoom in on this, just so we can see like the back of the suit. Yeah, I mean, let's see this. Yeah, she's got like the white stripe going across the back, just like in the image. So I think that looks pretty good. Trying to zoom out so we can see both. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good overall. The yellow like up top by her collar, that is where it's supposed to be. So I'd say they did pretty good on accuracy. Obviously the boots are supposed to have like that black outline. They never do it on the Lightning collection, so I didn't expect that to be there. So for her overall accuracy, I'll give her like a 9 or like a 9.5. I think they did pretty good. So yeah, as far as accuracy is concerned, I think they did a pretty solid job other than those few things that we pointed out. All right, so accuracy, she's gonna get a 9.5. Let's see, let's get into articulation. So for articulation, should be our standard fare of Lightning collection articulation. Although this is a female figure, which we haven't looked at a lot of female Lightning collection figures on the channel. I think really pretty much only just Kira at this point. So yeah, I think the females tend to be a little bit just slightly more limited than the guys, but you know, we'll get into that right now. So for her head articulation, she can look up, she's on a ball and a hinge. So she can look up about that far, and I feel like if I push it a little more than that, her head's gonna pop off. So without popping off, her head goes up about that far, which is really good. And then coming back down, let's see. She does, okay, there we go. Just couldn't quite get it to move at first. But yeah, she can look down pretty nicely, tuck her chin in. So that looks pretty good from the front and the side. So that's good. Coming back up here. She can turn side to side on that ball peg, which is nice. She's got rotation. Matter of fact, she has full 360 rotation, which is good. She's got a little bit of wiggle room for some side to side, a little bit of head tilting to each side, so that's good. Okay. Let's see, as far as her arms, she can raise them yay high, so a little bit better than 90 degrees. Just slightly higher, so she can definitely hit like a T-pose. So that's nice. Goes about right there before it gets restricted. Comes back down to her size very nicely. Like she can literally get her arm to basically like touch her body, which is nice because most of the guy figures definitely can't do that. So her being a skinnier figure, it's a lot easier to actually get her arms like flush with the rest of her body. So that's cool. And then she's got that 360 windmill rotation in the arm. No bicep swivel. Most of the female figures do not have a cut for bicep swivel, so that is a little unfortunate. I guess they just don't like chopping up the skinnier arms on the girls. But yeah, something to note. Let's see, we have a single jointed elbow. So she gets about at least a 90 degrees at the elbow. And then coming back down, we do have rotation in the hand and like in the wrist. It is on a hinge, and it appears to be a horizontal hinge. So she's gonna be hinging, you know, towards the body, away from the body, kind of thing. Not so much up and down. But yeah, so she got the clenched hands. And then as far as leg articulation goes, let's not forget about the torso. For torso, she can bend. She's got a diaphragm joint. Using just that top joint, she can bend about that much forward, that much back, which isn't too much, you know, really. And then she can also rotate though from that upper diaphragm joint. So she gets basically 360 rotation. She can turn like all the way around from the top joint. She's got this reverse ab crunch joint at the bottom though by the waist, She got a cup for the reverse ab crunch so she can bend. You start to apply that and she can get some really nice bend forward and pretty decent bending backwards as well. So that's pretty nice. Very, very nice there. Oh, for the arms, let me not forget to mention, she does have like a cut for a butterfly joint. Let's see how well it works. So as far as like forward and back movement, let's see. That's pretty decent, I guess. Yeah, she does get like, she does get some pretty decent going back actually. Move both arms back so you can see that better. Yeah, that's actually pretty decent. Like if she was like in a free falling pose, she could have her arms like really far back. As far as coming forward and across the body, not too bad, you know? I mean, it's definitely better than nothing. Yeah, she can definitely get a little bit of cross arm action going, so that's good. And then as far as the legs go, she's got this skirt piece that is kind of soft, so it should be a little bit, you know, pliable and flexing a little bit to get out the way. We have a cut for a thigh swivel. So she does have a thigh swivel. It's kind of like hidden under like the line of the skirt, but she does have a thigh swivel in there. So she's got some rotation in the thighs. She's got double jointed knees. So she can bend about that far back. And yeah, so basically she can almost kick her own ass. All right, so that's cool. Pretty decent range there for the knees. Kind of like gummy joints, so you might want to be careful. The joints in the knees for her feel a little stiff, almost like clay, kind of clay-like. So I think it's just the quality of the plastic that they use for the joints there. So be a little careful. Definitely don't want to break anything there. Be careful when you're flexing that. She does have rotation in the boots. She's got some swivel in the boots, side to side. And then for her feet, she's on a hinge, so she can point the toes all the way down like so, which is nice. She can kick up that far, which is also pretty nice. Yeah, and then the feet themselves don't swivel like individually from the boot, but she does have ankle pivot or rocker in there, which is actually pretty nicely done, so that's cool. And then as far as kicking forward, again, she has the skirt piece is pretty soft, and it also has like a slit down the side so that it can kind of move and get out the way when she's kicking forward. So yeah, she can still get a pretty nice high kick in there, at least at 90 degrees. So that's pretty good. Coming back, only about that much, gets a little restricted by the sculpt, what we would expect for Lightning Collection. And then as far as out to the side, her split game, let's see what she's got. Let's see what Cassie's split game is looking like. Not too bad, you know, definitely not a perfect split. It is a little bit hindered by the skirt there, even though it's a soft plastic, you know, it is gonna stop some of the movement out to the side. So she can get about that much, which is close enough, you know, I'd still say that's pretty good. And yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, I think we've looked at pretty much all points of articulation, so that's pretty good, especially for the female figures who can definitely be a little more hindered in certain places. She's actually still very, very flexible overall, so I'm gonna give her articulation a score of, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. Let's make it simple. Nice 9 out of 10 for articulation. Let's see, her accessories, I think she comes with enough. I mean, this is Lightning Collection. She comes with what we'd expect. She's got her signature weapon, a blast effect for it, some alternate hands, and a face sculpt, a civilian head to switch out. So, I mean, that's standard fare for Lightning Collection. So, I think that's pretty good. I don't think she really needed to come with too much more. I don't think in space they didn't really have like any like special weapons or like upgraded modes as far as from what I can remember in that season. I think Andros was like the only one. He had like the Battleizer, and I think he is the first Red Ranger, if I'm not mistaken, to have a Battleizer. Because I was trying to like keep an eye out for that as I was watching the seasons. I was like, you know, who had the Battleizer first? Like, when did that become a thing? And I'm pretty sure Andros had the first Battleizer. So yeah. But as far as she's concerned, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything she needed to come with. So for accessories, um, I mean, maybe you could argue some alternate hands, some like extra alternate hands, just to switch her up a little bit more. But for what we've got here, I think that's pretty good. So I'm gonna give her like a 9.5 for accessories. I think that's plenty. I think that should be good. Price point, let's see. These go for about like $24.99 retail. I think Hasbro, just like Marvel Legends and all that stuff like Black Series figures. I believe they go for about $25. For what we get, I mean, yeah, I guess that's all right. Again, I think Hasbro does tend to upsell us for stuff like this, but even that being said, I think she is a pretty solid figure overall. So for the price point, and this is standard fare. It's not like we didn't expect her to be $25. So for what she is, though, taking that into account, for price point, I'm gonna give her like an 8. Just because, again, I feel like Hasbro does overcharge a little bit when it comes to some of these figures. But $25 isn't too bad. So there is that. And then the last thing is really just posability. So let's see if we can get her into some nice, good poses before we sign out here, before we get into size comparisons. Let's just see if we can get her looking kind of dynamic here with her satellite stunner. So, matter of fact, I'll go ahead and put in the effects piece for her so we can see how that looks. Oh yeah, that plugs in real nice. Very easy to plug in the blast effect. So, just wanted to put that out there so you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and actually plug in her blaster and her holster as well. Let's see. Alright, so let's see if we can get her in a kind of cool pose here. Because she was able to flex and, get the legs and arms in some pretty good positions. So let's see what we can do here just real quick. Okay, there we go. And I'm just gonna hold her. I'm not even gonna try to put her I'm not gonna put her down and have her look, try to do a really cool pose to see if she can balance, because that's gonna be a whole issue. I would need some time to get her to hit a lot of these poses, but here's just something real quick that I did just to hold her, just so you can get an idea. Boom. The no look and shoot, right? She's looking at us, but she's shooting a monster, on the side of her. So boom, got the satellite stunner. So that's really cool. Let's see if we can switch it up a little bit. All right, get her doing maybe a little bit deeper of a crouch here. Get her kind of bending forward more. All right. Kind of kick these legs out a little bit. Yeah, her joints for her knees, the plastic feels a little bit gummy, so be aware that that tends to kind of vary with some of these Lightning Collection figures. Like some feel better than others in the joints, I've noticed, but she does feel a little bit, gummy in the joints, so be careful with that. But yeah, let's see, let's get something slightly different here. There we go. I'm pretty bad at posing on the spot. I need some time to make my figures look good in some good dynamic poses, but trying to show y'all, give y'all like a sense here of what she can do. Let's see. Here's another quick little one. Satellite stunner kick, boom. But yeah, you get the idea. She can definitely hit some cool poses, right? And if I had more time, I could definitely probably pull something off even cooler than this. But yeah, for posability, I'm just gonna go ahead and keep it simple. I'll give her like I give her a solid 9 for posability. I think she can definitely hit some good stuff. And yeah, so that's it for as far as like all of the categories. We got articulation, accessories, posability, price point, accuracy, and aesthetic. So we're gonna go ahead and total all those up and see what we get here. All right, so we can give her a final score. So we got, let's see, we've got 9, 8. Let's see, 1, 2. Okay, here we go. So we have 9. Alright, so we got a 53.5 out of 60 as her final score, which is, as far as percentages go, that is a 89. So she did pretty good. That's like a solid B plus, almost an A. So she's got an 89% of her overall score, 53.5 out of 60. All right, so you did pretty good, Cassidy. Very, very nicely done for the clean figurine scale. You did your thing, all right? So, Lightning Collection, in Space Pink. Very, very nicely done. Welcome to the team, Miss Cassie. All right. So, let's go ahead and finish it off with size comparisons. So, I'm going to go ahead and get her situated here so we can see her next to some other dope characters. All right. So there she is back there with the satellite stunner. Let's bring in some peoples. We'll start off with Lightning Collection. So we have Connor over here from Dino Thunder. So we got Dino Thunder Red here, Mr. Connor McKnight, and then we'll get Trent on her opposite side. Got Lightning Collection White Ranger or Aregila on her opposite side there. And yeah, you can see they scale pretty good. She's definitely just slightly shorter than each of them. I don't know how tall the actress was that played her. I think Patricia Ja Lee, I think is her name. If I had to guess, she's probably like 5'6", 5'7". Not sure how tall Connor is. He looked really tall when he was standing next to Kira and Ethan. Like he looked like he was like a full head taller than them. But I don't think he's like all that tall either. I actually just finished Ninja Storm update on my my whole Ranger marathon. I just finished Ninja Storm this morning, and I didn't even realize. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, if you've ever seen Ninja Storm or Dino Thunder. Hopefully this isn't like a spoiler for you guys, but I noticed that Connor actually shows up in the finale of Ninja Storm. Like, I won't like describe, exactly who he is, but if you watch, next time you watch Ninja Storm, when you get to the finale episode, just like the last like 2 episodes, just pay attention because Connor actually shows up like in that. And as a kid, I never realized that it was him until today after, rewatching it, but I just thought that was funny. I was like, wow, that's Connor. I was like, is that Connor? And then, I saw the ending credits and it said his name, and I was like, okay, yeah, that was Connor. I was like, wow, never picked up on that. But yeah, so there is those 2 with her. Let's move them out the way. Let's bring in some Bandai figures. We've got the Bandai Thunder Rangers from the Ninja Flash line. So we've got Blake and Hunter here. The Ninja Flash line, obviously she's going to be a little bit taller than each of them. Lightning Collection, 6" compared to about 5.5" scale. So there is those 2. Moving them aside. Let's bring in Lothor while we're still on some Ninja Storm. Here is the Bandai Lothor figure from back in the day. And yeah, he's definitely shorter than her, so there you go. On her opposite side, we'll go ahead and bring in another Lightning Collection. We'll bring in some more girl power. Let's get some Lady Ranger power going. All right. We've got Miss Kira Ford on her other side, another Lightning Collection. So there you go. And they scale pretty well. They're just about the exact same height, honestly. I think in the camera right now, it might seem like Kira's a little bit taller. I guess if you count like the little fin at the top, she's a little bit taller, but not by much. They're basically the same. So there you go. All right, moving them aside, we'll bring in some Marvel Legends. We've got the retro card Shocker from Spider-Man from the Hasbro line, and then for we'll bring in a not third party, but a what do you call this? We'll just call it we'll bring in a I'll just call it a Kickstarter figure, right? Because he was a Kickstarter idea, so you know that came to fruition. So we have Odious, the Living Curse by Unparalleled Universe on her opposite side, and you can see he's definitely got some nice height compared to her. He's quite a bit bigger. But yeah, that looks cool. I think Odious would look really cool as like a monster fighting Cassie here, especially if you were to like take off the clothes on him and just have him look like a Yeti, like a Bigfoot. I think that would be a pretty cool monster battle. So yeah, there you go. Moving those two aside, what else we got? We gotta get the boy Carlos, because that's her teammate right there, right? So here is Mr. Carlos in space black next to Cassie. All right, we had to see him. You already knew that was coming. So there he is with his teammate there, Miss Cassie. And yeah, I think they both look pretty good, man. Some more in space action. Nice to see these two finally together as we work on completing the team. So we've got black and pink now, and we're gonna keep going down the line. On our other side, we'll bring in, I call it the Alex Ross Spider-Man. I can't remember exactly off top which one this was. It's a Toy Biz figure, and I did review it on the channel. I just can't remember the specific name for it right now, but I'm gonna call it the Alex Ross Spider-Man from Toy Biz. And he's basically this exact same height as her. Yeah, they're like very, very similar in height. He might be slightly taller. So let's move him out the way, and Carlos as well. We'll bring in some more Bandai. We've got the Lightspeed Rescue Green Ranger from Bandai, and the Lightspeed Rescue Red Ranger, Mr. Carter, also from Bandai. See if you can stand here. Thank you, Mr. Carter. All right, there we go. So you can see the three of them. And yeah, she's definitely like a little bit bigger than them, for sure, as she should be. So there you have it. Moving those boys aside, what else we got? For some Black Series, we've got Count Dooku on this side. And then we have Darth Vader. This is the Duel's End Darth Vader from the Kenobi show, with the damaged mask or helmet. So there you go. There's Cassie in the middle of them. Darth Vader is definitely the biggest. He's a taller character. Count Dooku is a little bit taller than her as well. Might be hard to see from this shot here, but he definitely stands a little bit taller than her from the top of the head. So there you go. All right, moving them aside. Who else? For a Legacy Collection comparison, just so we can see some more Power Rangers, here's the Legacy version of the White Ranger from Dino Thunder. All right, so we got Legacy White Ranger on that side. For another Marvel Legend, another lady, we will bring in Miss Black Cat, the retro card Black Cat from Hasbro. And yeah, Black Cat stands a little bit taller than Cassie here, and so does the White Ranger. Legacy Collection, this is about 6.5 inch scale, so should be about a half inch or so taller than Cassie. So there you go. All right, let's move them aside. Who else we got? let's bring in the wall crawling or wall sticking web, I think it was called, wall sticking web Spider-Man from Hasbro way back in the days. This is still a really nicely sculpted figure. I do like the look of it. It's a very interesting look for Spidey. And then kind of a random one here, I'm gonna bring in the Hiya Toys Godzilla because we haven't seen a Hiya comparison in a minute. So here is the Hiya Toys Godzilla with Miss Cassie. And yeah, Godzilla definitely bigger, definitely not to scale, right? But definitely bigger than Cassie here. Probably like at least by a full inch, if not more. And then Spidey is pretty close in height with her. I think I do have his head kind of like tilted down a little bit, but they're pretty similar in height. So there you go. Move them boys aside. Last but not least, we'll grab Batman. We've got Batman. We've got SH Figuarts, Kawagariger or Blake, just so you can get a SH Figuarts comparison. And yeah, Batman, I would say, stands a little bit taller than Cassie from the top of his head, and if you count the ears, definitely a little bit taller. And then Blake is like just a little bit shorter than her, as he should be. And to finish it off, a grand finisher, we have a 6 scale comparison with her. Here is the So-So Toys Shuriken Warrior. I gotta kind of put him back here so I don't knock her down with his big ass samurai saber. But yeah, here is Mr. Cam, or honestly I don't know the Sentai character's name, like the civilian guy for this Ranger, because I haven't watched Hurricaneer yet, but we'll just call him Cam for right now. And yeah, so there you go. And like I said, I just finished Ninja Storm this morning, so you know, got to relive the old childhood memories all over again. Very, still one of my favorite seasons to this day. I love Ninja Storm. Very solid season in my opinion. I liked it a lot. But yeah, that's how she scales with him. Much bigger figure, of course. But that's what it is, man. So that's gonna do it, guys. That's my review on the Lightning Collection In Space Pink Ranger from Hasbro. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're new, please subscribe, man. I want to thank all you guys for the engagement on the channel, for leaving comments, leaving likes on the videos. Yeah, just, you know, any questions that you guys have, feel free to, you know, drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to respond to them. And yeah, I just want to thank you guys again for all that you do for the channel, man, for making it what it is, making this a fun time for us to, you know, look at dope figures like this and, you know, discuss the prospects that come with them, you know, the prices and whatnot, whether figures are actually, you know, worth the price that, you know, retailers sell them for, you know. So, you know, all that is, you know, worthy of discussion. So thank you guys again for engaging with me, and hope you guys enjoyed the review and all the content so far, because we got a whole lot more coming. Thank you so much. This has been your boy, BioSpider 3.0, signing out. I hope all you guys have a great day, and yeah, stay safe and stay blessed. See you out there. Rangers in space.